Hey, what's up, Tal?
Hey, Adi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Everything is great. So we're working on a bunch of cool stuff, new materials. A little bit less, I think, related to automation, more on anti-detect, fingerprinting, the basic. It can be the basic or it can be the advanced, depends on like what you are trying to achieve. But I'm really excited about today live because it's start of like what we are going to go through all the rest of the week. So today we hope to present you all your options in the multi-browser or anti-detect browsers. How does it work in general? In general, like what's the difference between them? We will not dive into each of them specifically, but we'll see like an overview. And from that, we have entire week that we are going every day to make a new video on different detect browsers, emphasize their strengths, emphasize their disadvantages as well, because we also need to know the advantages and the disadvantages. And let's see how it goes.
Cool. Yes, thank you very much. I'm excited for that. I think also the people watching the videos probably now we can give them and we can provide more value in other stuff, as you mentioned, not only automation and Instagram. This is like something a bit different. And we want to like put the lights on about something that you can make money with this type of knowledge and not only with bots and automation. So I don't know if you saw our last video about GoLogin, but basically to use anti-detected browser, it's just to hide everything you're doing online. So if you speak about your fingerprints, if you speak about the proxy, choose a proxy, of course, user agent, your behavior, any patterns, like it's a lot of stuff that Tal can, of course, explain more about that and how you can actually make money from that, which is like, I think the most important part. It's to sell services and use this type of tools, such as the anti-detected browsers. You can sell reviews, you can sell avatars management, you can sell a affiliate marketing using that, you can do marketing analytics, you can do so many stuff with these type of tools, and you can actually upsell your clients if you want, or you can actually open a new service. And I think it's really powerful to know all of this stuff. So yes, I think this is yeah, it's like the most important.
So again, yes, like undetected, like in general, it's a tool, which means like, like with a knife, you can do a lot of things. You can cut bread or you can stab someone, foot for. But like undetected, it's a tool. You can use it on multiply ways. You can do it for good. You can use it for evil. You can use it in general, or you can just hide yourself. So in general, like again, like the idea of like anti-detect is just to hide who you are over the web. So when we're talking about like your fingerprints, which like for example, like let's say that you're doing something out on the street. So your identifier is your ID. But when you're like on the web, your identifier, you have two main identifiers. The first one is your IP. It's like your ID number that you got from the web, and this is like what presents you over the web. This is what proxy take care of. But even if you're using a proxy, you have the other part, which is the software. And if you're not doing automation or you're not doing your own software, you have your fingerprints. Fingerprints is like you have around 5,000 like uh, uh, data points that like any website can compare about you and find out who you are or where are you from, which language you're speaking. So it can be like either if you want to do like ads, for example, you want to do ads accounts. A lot of times, like ad accounts are like being banned for no any good reason, and you want to create a new ad account so you can advertise your business. So you can use actually like GoLogin, Multilogin, Chameleon, Incogniton, AdsPower, or any of the other anti-detects that we're going to go over on this video. So you will not be compared like what does he do? Like it takes like each of your profiles, like for example the ads profile, and makes each of them a separate entity. So it cannot be linked to you in the first place, but also cannot be related to each other. For example, even if you use like a lot of people think that like using incognito mode, incognito mode like helps you to hide you, so it almost does not hide anything. They actually say it. I will show you.
Yes, yes, you must show this part. I remember when it was published, so people was like in shock that incognito is not really hiding, but this is live.
So I think that you're saying yes. So they're actually saying it that like that they're not hiding you like perfectly. So now you can browse privately, and other people who uses this device will not see your activity. However, downloads, bookmarks, reading limits, all will be saved. So this is like, for example, things that will be saved on your browser. This is what will not Chrome use. But they also your activity might still be visible to websites you visit, your employer or school, your internet service provider. So this is just like part of the things that they're saying, but honestly, they tell everything about you. So like to even to understand again, I talked about like 5,000 points. Like let's let it run for a second to get like fetch my data. I will also run it in on Incogniton, so incognito mode. So you can see like the difference. There will be almost no difference except maybe the cookies. So again, it can be good if you want to see like sites that you don't want your parents to know, or you don't want your girlfriend to know, or your boyfriend to know. It will work really well on incognito mode in general, unless the your partner or your family are like are a complex entity that knows how to track you down. But other than that, you can use incognito and it feel pretty safe in general. But if you're like a cybersecurity person or doing even SEO research or even like just going accounts for your ads or your affiliate marketing campaigns, so it will probably will not do any good. They will just like connect between all your computers. So you can just see like, for example, things that they know about me. Right now I'm in Portugal. So of course they can see my IP, they can see the time zone that I'm at. This is like based on the fingerprint, not based on the IP. They can see that my preferred language is Hebrew. I'm using Chrome. I'm using Mac OS, and not only Mac OS. They can see like which CPU or GPU I'm using, like on my motherboard, that is like from Mac, from Intel. What's also like what's the version of Chrome that I'm using? Chrome 14. This is, if I'm not wrong, it's not the latest. Like there is an update, but once before the most updated one, so they can know that I'm actual user. But like even more interesting stuff, like they can see your Canva. Canva is like if it's an Android or it's actually a Chrome. For example, if you're using changing your user agent, but keeping the same Canva. Canva is when you're sending, for example, from Android or an iPhone, you're sending like a message, you see like different smileys. So this is what's called Canva. They can see the languages which is installed on my computer. They can see all the fonts. So even if you're hiding the language, like this language, they can still know like which languages you speak or uses because it's installed on your computer. So let's say that I'm a website that I want to investigate about you. All I need you is just to visit my website, and then I know all the languages that you speak of. I know where are you located in the world. I know like probably which computer you're using. I can know like all the extensions that you're using, and this is a great start to find almost everything about you. They know actually which camera, what's the size of the screen that you're opening, and like much more data about that. So you can have two things. You can build your own software that can actually handle and hide all of those like fingerprints. This is one way if you're a big company or you're doing it like in big scale, it's always recommended to do it yourself. But like if you're like doing again like your ads campaign, or you're doing like cyber security task or work, I really advise you to use like anti-detect browsers, because otherwise, even if you're using a VPN or a proxy, it's really, really, really easy to track you down. Again, because of all those 5,000 data points, and it actually said you're unique among uh, two 2 million 2 million fingerprints, which mean that if they will take me from all this list of from like everyone, they can just like find me specifically, because among all their fingerprints that they collected, this specific website they compare from, they say you are unique. So again, it's really, really easy to go back. You can actually like do it like maybe like on a shorter term, and then see like if you're unique from the new fingerprints or like less, you see like here they have like less fingerprints they collected. So you will be like maybe less visible, but if we are going on all time, it's really easy to track you down. So in general, there are actually 6 main anti-detect browsers. There are two which are four that are the main ones that people probably use when you're like a cybersecurity investigators. You're not only interested actually like about like how big is the company, but if I'm talking about like size of companies, it will be GoLogin, Multilogin, and AdsPower, the biggest companies among the all 6. But like also it really depends on the origin country. So if we're going to talk about GoLogin or Multilogin, again, like this part we're trying to do a little bit comparison. Multilogin and GoLogin, if I'm not wrong, both are from Russia and United States. They have companies located in both. If I'm not wrong, also Multilogin is located also in Latvia. They have also a branch there. Sometimes it's important to people that do cybersecurity to know. AdsPower, if I'm not wrong, is China and United States as well. Incogniton actually is one of my favorite. Is located in Netherlands. They are Dutch people, the one that actually established the company. They are pretty new in the market. I'm not sure if new, but like they are right after like GoLogin and Multilogin on their size, and with a lot of users. In general, they have like really good support in any meaning. I trust those people a lot. And they have pretty good fingerprints on how hiding them. So again, like when we were saying like about which are the best, so again, there is no like one certain answer. Again, all the 6 that we are giving here are all recommended. All of them has their differences. All of them like hide better or not on the same level of the same fingerprints. For example, we can say that AdsPower, for example, supports also iPhone, while Multilogin and GoLogin support only Android. Of course, Windows and Mac all of those support like all the user agents, but like AdsPower also support like an iPhone, while Multilogin does not. But like comparable, Multilogin and GoLogin are supposedly like considered better on hiding your fingerprints. They are more like people more know them, and like and again, so it really depends on what you want to compare it based on. On 99.9% of your objective or your tasks or your, I don't know, whatever you're trying to achieve, each of the 6 will like work really well for you. because they're like, again, their fingerprinting or hiding the fingerprinting is much better than what you guys can do in general, because again, they have full team which are dedicated to only hiding the fingerprint and to analyze it. This is a game which is changing all the time. And they're like on it. This is like the advantage of like working with a company like that. You don't need to track everything, as you can see, like fingerprinting changes all the times. Like if, for example, you have like a new phone or a new computer, Mac releases like a new version. So for example, Facebook or I don't know, like a website will expect you to be on the latest version. Like you don't want, for example, to show that you are Chrome to 110, because it's like this is like a really old version. So I really don't recommend to try to do it yourself unless you're a professional and you know what you're doing. And if you're in this situation, you're more than welcome to contact us, and we'll also do a video about you or your services. But in general, they should do a better work than like any of work that you can guys can do like on hiding it, because again, Incogniton mode or like the Firefox is also the option, how is it called? Containers, Firefox containers. Or like you can also say like you have like Opera. Opera is like another browser. And they have also like a VPN built-in or fingerprint hiding built-in or multi-threading. It's called, like each of them should be like a different entity, but it's really easy to detect and to find it out. It's literally like Chrome and Firefox take this is all the data of the users without even like asking you before. This is actually what happens, and this is why we recommend to use in general. So just to give you like an example, like what like GoLogin show us, they know that I use as Mac, for example. So this is like, for example, the ad that they show me. So again, like if you're talking about like the fingerprint level, all of them are in a high level. They're around like 50 anti-detect, which shows those because they're like in much higher level than the others. If I'm talking about Chameleon or Dolphin Anty or Incogniton or AdsPower, Multilogin or GoLogin, I uses all of them. It really depends on the task that I need to do. And one of the biggest advantages of all of those that they support like API, which means that you can also run your Chromium or Puppeteer task or automation based on their browser. So like you can just build automation and they will manage the fingerprints for you, and then they did most of the hard work for you. Another big advantage of using like Antidetect browsers, most of them support also called profile sharing. What does it mean? It means that, for example, if you're working on one ad account on Facebook, you have a Facebook ad account, and you finish to set it up, and you have like two shifts like on the same account, so you can just share the same profile to the other person, and they would like continue from where you stopped. So like what will happen, they will open the browser on their own computer, and they will have the same fingerprint, the same IP, and the same like credentials or like a data point that you had on your computer. And the advantage is that like the accounts will not get blocked to the people that just starting like automation or avatar farming here that are watching this video. Like it's not healthy to change the fingerprints all the time. It's like you have a Facebook account and you're connected from like a couple of devices. It will be pretty weird in general, because again, you're showing them that like multi people are using the same profile. This is something that they want not to do, so they will probably block you. So again, this is also like a big advantage. So as far as I know, like Multilogin and GoLogin both support this option to share and also to do the API, as well as AdsPower. This supports also the API and to share the profile. Let's see about Incogniton. I think that Incogniton also allow that, if I'm not wrong. Yes, so they also let you share and also let you to do the API and Selenium and Puppeteer integration. You can see that you have API access to all of the options except of the starter. You can actually test it by free from Incogniton. And again, I really advise to use those guys. They are really good in general. I think that also Dolphin Anty do the same, and ability to use yes. So they also support the sharing. I'm not sure 100% about their API. Still not sure. And Chameleon do support sharing, but they don't support the API yet. They're like a really cool startup. They started like not long ago. One of their biggest advantages is their prices. And they have like much cheaper prices than the competition. And if you're talking about priceable, like the most expensive one from all of those is Multilogin in general. It's like the most well-known and most like Americans will use it in general. Like if you're Chinese, you will probably use like AdsPower. Just this is like markets that like the different detects are like stronger at. But you can see that while like for example, this is the scale platform, which allows you to get, I don't know, 1,000 profiles. You need to pay 300 euros and GoLogin, and 2,000 you will get $149, or on 1,000, which will be like fourth of the price that you will have on Multilogin. AdsPower is also like cheaper. Let's get here to 1,000 profile. Let's see the price. So it will be almost half if I'm taking the yearly. Let's take the monthly. It will also be cheaper than Multilogin, but again, one of their biggest advantages, they support also iPhone when the others are not. And Incogniton, again, you can see that again, even if you'll go on double the price for 1,000 profile, it will still be cheaper than Multilogin. Of course, it will be the same for Dolphin Anty. I think Dolphin Anty is also, I see like 1,000 accounts will cost you $300. And in Chameleon mode, you can get like 350 profiles for $200. So again, like I think the cheapest from all of those currently is GoLogin. Let's change it to the monthly so you can see the right prices. You can see that 1,000 will cost you around 200, which will bring it almost the same of, if I'm not wrong, not Incogniton. No, it's still the cheapest in general. So guys, this is just like the start of like what we're explaining. On the next videos that we'll see like attached on the bottom of the video, there will be also like videos to each individual Antidetect. We actually present them so you can see the overall, and then from the overall you can skip directly to the one that you preferred. We'll explain how to connect an account, how to test it. So our next videos are going to be on each of those individually. And again, we recommend all those 6, not like I don't. The idea of this comparison is not to tell you this is the best one, because all of those are good Antidetect browsers. I'm using all of them. It really depends on the task that you want to achieve and using the right software. So we're going to dive deep to each of them so you can see the overview, and then you can see how we connect an account, how we set it up, actually how we are sharing everything. And this is it actually, and we'll give you a big overview all on the niche and how to do that the best that you can.
Thank you so much, Tal. Guys, thank you for joining us. We'll see you in the next video, and we'll put the link right there. We'll add a link with a blog with like, if people want more detailed information, if you want to see. So Tal created a cool blog post about it, so you can check it out. And that's it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.